Hi guys, welcome to our channel. Today's topic is on how to increase your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, also known as EI, describes a person's ability to recognize emotions, to understand their powerful effect, and to use that information to guide thinking and behavior. Since emotional intelligence helps you to better understand yourself and others, a high emotion quotient increases your chance for successfully achieving goals. But is there a way to increase your emotional intelligence? Yes. There are 7 steps involved in increasing the emotional intelligence. Number 1, reflect on your own emotions. Take some time to sit down and reflect on your own emotions. For example, think about how you typically respond when you read an email that implies you dropped the ball. Your significant other blames you for something you feel is unfair. Another driver cuts you off on the highway. A close friend or associate begins to cry unexpectedly. By first identifying your own emotions and reactions, you become more mindful and start the process of building control. Number 2, ask others for perspective. Often we don't realize that other people view us much differently than we view ourselves, and vice versa. It's not about the right or wrong, it's simply understanding how perceptions differ and the consequences those differences create. By asking those close to us, like a significant other or close friend or workmate, about our interaction with them, we can learn from their perspective. For example, we could think about a specific time when we were in a highly emotional state. Ask the other person, did I act out of the ordinary during that time? Could you describe how? Then ask them to relate experiences regarding when they were going through an emotional situation. You can ask, how did I deal with you at that time? Would you say I was sensitive to your feelings and emotions? Getting the answers to those questions will help us to see ourselves more like others see us and help us to understand others better. You can use that knowledge to adjust your dealings with others. Number 3, be observant. Armed with this newly acquired knowledge, you can now be more observant of your current emotion. Your self reflection and what others have shared will help you to be more in tune with what you are feeling. If you make any new discoveries, make sure to repeat step 1. You can even write down your experience. Doing so will help clarify your thinking and keep you in learning mode. Number 4, use the stop button. The stop button may be as simple as taking a moment to stop and then think before we act or speak. If everyone made that as a practice, imagine how much shorter emails could be, how much time would be saved in meetings, how many incendiary comments on social media would be eliminated. But remember, the stop button is easy in theory, difficult to practice. Even if we were generally good at managing our emotions, factors like added stress or a bad day can inhibit our ability to do so at any given time. And we are not just talking about upsetting situations. We are often tempted to jump on opportunities that look really good at the time, but then that we haven't really thought of. When you work on pausing before speaking and or acting, you create a habit of thinking first. Number 5, explore the why. Most of us would agree that qualities like empathy and compassion are valuable ingredients to healthy relationship. So why do we often neglect to show those qualities when it matters most? Like when we fail to show understanding to a close friend or a partner when they are going through a difficult time. In short, this term describes the fact that it's extremely challenging to put ourselves in another person's shoe. We often forget how specific situations feel. Even if we have experienced very similar circumstances, if we have never experienced something similar, you can imagine how that limits our perspective. So, how do we bridge the gap? Demonstrating qualities such as empathy and compassion means that we try our best to see a situation through another person's eyes. But we have to go further than drawing on our own experiences. Showing true empathy means exploring the why. Why does that person feel the way he or she does? What is he or she dealing with that I don't see? Why do I feel differently than he or she feels? If you can't effectively answer those questions, consider working alongside the person for a period of time to truly understand what's going on as viewed from other person's perspective. Doing so will help you see your team and family members not as complainers, but more accurately for who they really are. Number six, when criticized, don't take offense. Instead, ask, what can I learn? Whether a successful entrepreneur or a loyal employee, criticism is never easy to take. You have invested blood, sweat, and sometimes tears in your work. It can be extremely difficult when someone else comes in and tears down what you have built. But the truth is, criticism is often rooted in truth, even when it is not delivered in an ideal manner. When you receive negative feedback, there are two choices. You can put your feelings aside and try to learn from the situation, or you can get angry and let your emotion get the best of you. When you are in on the receiving end of the criticism, whether it's delivered ideally or not, it's invaluable to consider the following. Putting my personal feeling aside, what can I learn from this alternative perspective? Instead of focusing on delivery, how can I use this feedback to help me or my team improve? There are times when you shouldn't listen to criticism. For example, when it's based on falsehood or given in a way that's meant to destroy your sense of self worth, but in reality, that's not usually the case. If your goal is to truly get better, don't let emotions close your mind to negative feedback. Instead, learn from it. Number seven, practice, practice, and practice. Like any other skill or ability, practice makes you perfect. Of course, it's impossible to have perfect control over your emotions, and learning to improve your emotional intelligence isn't a process that happens overnight. However, consistently practicing these steps will allow you to begin harnessing the power of emotions and use that power to work for you instead of against you. Hope you had some good insights on how to increase your emotional intelligence. Until next time, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, VJ Spikes.